Unity of the Huachucas presents Reverend Charli Tupper.
Forgiveness as a doorway to health and happiness.
In a world where you can be anything, be yourself. I know you hear me say that a lot, but it is really true. In a world where you can be anything, regardless of race, creed, financial status, political views. Now, you might be looking at the world out there and saying, this is just not a true statement. People are fighting about who is right and who is wrong. Families are splitting over these very issues. And you, me, have the goal to say, in a world where you can be anything, be yourself? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Because I'm not speaking of your race, creed, financial status, political views. I am talking about your true self. I am talking about that essence of the divine that is within you. And what does it want to express in this world? How does it want to show up? And so that is the true self. So today, I'm going to explore the last of the 212 powers. The powers of release and the powers of power. These two powers are intricately connected. As we release, we open ourselves to our innate power. And as we tap into our power, we have the capacity to let go. One of my examples today is the story of the prodigal son. This is a story that many of you may know. It is recorded in the Gospel of Luke. And it goes like this. There was a man who had two sons. The younger of them said to his father, "Father, give me the share of the wealth that belongs to me." So he divided his assets between them. A few days later, the younger son gathered all of his belongings and all of his wealth, and he traveled to a distant region. And there he squandered his wealth in dissolute living. Other translations would say that, he was with prostitutes and he was gambling, and he was doing all sorts of things like that. And he lost all of his money. And then a severe famine took place. And he began to be in need. So he went and hired himself out to one of the local citizens of the region who raised pigs. And it says that he would have gladly filled his belly with what the pigs were eating. And no one gave him anything. But when he came to his senses, how many of my father's hired hands have bread enough and to spare? But here I am dying of hunger. I will get up and go to my father, and I will say to him, "Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Treat me like one of the hired hands." So he set off and he went to his father. But while he was still far off, his father saw him. And his father ran to him. his father ran to him and kissed him and put a ring on his finger. The son still, he had to give his speech. So he still said, "Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son." But the father said to his slaves, "Quickly bring out a robe, the best one, and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. And get the fatted calf and kill it. And let us eat and celebrate. For the son of mine was dead and is alive. He was lost and is found." And they began to celebrate. Now his elder son was in the field. And as he came and approached the house, he heard music and dancing. And he called out to one of the slaves and asked, "What's going on?" And he replied, "Your brother has come, and your father has killed the fatted calf because he has got him back safe and sound." Then he became angry and refused to go in. His father came out and pleaded to him. But he answered his father, "Listen, for all these years, I have been working like a slave for you, and I have never disobeyed. Yet you have never given me even a young goat so that I might celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours comes back, who has devoured your assets with prostitutes, you killed the fatted calf for him?" Then the father said to him, "Son, you are always with me, and all that is mine is yours. But we had to celebrate and rejoice because this brother of yours was dead and has come back to life. He was lost and has been found." In this story, Jesus is revealing to us those aspects of ourselves that we may be blind to, the stories that we tell ourselves about what is ours, what is our due, and how others should behave. What are the cultural beliefs that hold us back from experiencing true freedom and personal power? This is a story of stepping into truth of who we are and living from that truth within us. It's a story of forgiveness and we must be willing to release the old tapes and to open our eyes to see the world in a new way. So the prodigal son goes to a far land. Where's your far land? Before we know another way, our ego mind tells us we need to escape from what is, from the pain of remembering the time that we were hurt. Maybe it was a really deep pain. Maybe it was trauma. Where is your far land? Is it the land of entitlement, prestige, resentment, fear of not enough? Our mind is always looking out there for more or better. It tells us that if things outside us were just a little different, it'll all be great. Life is lived from the inside out. And this is a story of our inside life and how it shows up outside when we cling to an idea of how something is supposed to show up or how somebody is supposed to be. The idea that we have about the way that things are or are not. We cling. I want it to be this way. It needs to be this way. This is really good. I'm going to hang on to it. One of the ways that we tap into this is really recognizing this is all about forgiveness. It's all about forgiveness in the fact that, in the truth, that as we let go, we are empowered. As we let go, we are empowered. We are empowered to really create, co-create the life that we want to have. But there's a process that we need to go through. It's not just about saying, oh, I forgive. I forgive everyone and everything. Wouldn't it be nice if it was like that? I mean, wouldn't that be great if we could just go, oh, I forgive everyone, everything, and it's all gone. Well, I don't know about your experience, but my experience is that there's a process. Then I have to go through a process in order to be able to allow myself to experience, not to stuff or to rise above whatever's going on, but to walk through. That's where the gift is. The gift is in walking through whatever is going on. And that is the narrow road that Jesus talks about, because that is not the easy road. I'm talking about taking time to feel our feelings, to feel the hurt and the pain, to feel the anger, to allow it to pass through. Because anytime that we stop those feelings, they come out sideways. And anytime that we think, oh, I'm really spiritual, I'm going to rise above. I'm going to rise above it. You just take it with you. And it kicks you in the hiney. Because you can't rise above it. Because rising above it is shifting your energy. And shifting your energy is about forgiveness. That's how we shift our energy. So how do we forgive? How do we walk through these feelings that we have in order to be able to forgive? Well, believe it or not, I have a couple of ways that we can do that. One is by writing it out, writing the whole situation out. Whatever it is, just writing it out. No holds barred. That means if you need to, and you're writing it out and you're really angry, you don't go just, I'm really angry. It's like, I am not, how dare this, blah, 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 blah. I mean, really get it out, because you got to get it out of here. And then when you write it out, after you write it out, shred it or burn it, and do it intentionally as a way of releasing it. I'm going to let this go. I'm going to let it go. I'm giving it to God. I'm going to burn it. I'm going to shred it, whatever I need to do. but I'm giving it to God for transformation, handing it over. Now, I'd like to say that, and then you just go on your merry way and everything's fine, and you're just peachy keen and everybody's peachy keen, and that's the end of it. Actually, that's just the first step, because that's the step of admitting to yourself that you have these feelings. Now, the real challenge comes in when you have these feelings about yourself. I'm really mad at myself. That was not a good thing for me to do. The person that we're the hardest on is ourselves. And so it's okay. It's okay to write out, that was not who I want to be. Blah, 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 blah. I'm so angry. I give it to God for transformation. I give it to God for transformation. And God gives it back to me, healed. So where there was anger and resentment, I receive peace and loving kindness. I receive wisdom of what is that next step for me to take. Do I need to have a conversation with someone? Do I need to make a new commitment with myself about what is okay for me to do and not to do? I had to do this recently. I realized that once again, I had overbooked myself. And I was really getting down on myself because I had overbooked myself. I wasn't able to keep my word in a way that I would like to keep my word. And I had to let go of that. And the wisdom I received was what else it was that I needed to let go of. And so I was able to just let go. And out of that came a peace and a knowing that now I can keep my word, which is very important to me. I'm empowered to back up when I'm asked to do something and say, let me pray about that. Let me pray about that. And really step into that place within myself and ask, is this mine? And if it's mine, what else do I need to release in order to take this on? Right? Because I don't want to go back to old behaviors. So what else must I release? And so there's a whole process that's going on, but it's a process that we're doing with spirit, not a process we're doing up here in our head where we're thinking it through and thinking our to-do list and figuring out how to handle it. It's, I give it away and I receive it. It comes up from within. It comes into our hearts where we can actually know that this is a wisdom. We may be called to make amends to ourselves and to others. There's a process. And so we open ourselves to this process. We open ourselves to being able to really engage with spirit. Because when we forgive, we open ourselves to our power. And the minute we make the choice to even be willing to think about forgiving, our power opens up. That power opens up. And that power of power is not a power over, it is a power with. It empowers us to act in a way that is coming from our true selves, coming from that wisdom within. With God, all things are possible. All healing is possible. There is no situation that God is not in, because God is omnipresent. God is everywhere, all of the time. And so God is in whatever situation you're facing in this moment. God is there. And God is ready and willing to gift you with all that your heart desires. And sometimes the biggest challenge is getting out of our own way. And one of the ways that we get out of our own way is through the power of forgiveness. We let go and we create an open space, and we're able to receive that which has always been waiting for us. God never withholds from us. Jesus said, I came that they might have life and have it abundantly. Claim your abundant life. Engage with the process of forgiveness and open to your innate power. You're worth it. You are a magnificent expression of God. So let's take a moment and go into meditation. So I just invite you to take a moment and close your eyes if you're comfortable doing so. And in closing your eyes, we drop from the mind. As the eyelids close, we drop from the mind down into the heart. We take a breath and we can feel that breath in our heart. It's as if our heart itself is breathing us. Just allow yourself to feel that. And as your chest expands with the breath, that your heart opens. And your chest relaxes. And with that in-breath, as your chest expands, your heart opens. And your chest relaxes. I want to invite you to bring to mind a person or a situation. Something that you would like to engage the power of forgiveness, the power of release. You'd like to be able to let it go. I don't want you to think about it. I don't want you to think about the story. Just maybe the person or the situation. And in this moment, ask for Spirit's help. My small mind cannot do this on its own. I need my true self to come forth and reveal to me the parts of the story that are true and the parts of the story that have been embellished by my feelings. What are the facts? And as you think about this for a moment, what are the feelings that arise? sadness, regret, anger, disappointment. I want you to imagine where you feel this feeling in your body. Do you feel it in your throat, or your chest, or in your belly? Imagine yourself putting your hand where you feel this feeling. And kind of begin to make a fist, but you're gathering that energy into your hand. And you're going to pull that energy out. Pull that energy out and hand it over. Hand it over to spirit. And if there's another feeling that is coming up somewhere else, put your hand on that spot. And just take and make a fist and pull it up and hand it over. Giving it to God for healing, for transformation. Now I just want you to take a breath and imagine a golden light, the healing light of spirit. Is this gold light with pink scattered within it? The pink light representing the unconditional love of spirit. And allow that light to come down through your head and to go straight to that place where you pulled that feeling out. And imagine this golden light just filling that space. Filling that space and just healing. Healing any residual energy that is there, transforming it into the light. Imagine that light going down into the earth and anchoring you in the earth. Feel that fullness of spirit. Every area of your body and beyond, radiating out love, unconditional love, and awakening within you that divine capacity of wisdom and power. You may receive a new idea, You may receive a next step, or it may just be very quiet. Taking in another deep breath. Just taking a moment to give thanks, to express your gratitude for this opportunity to heal, for this opportunity to step into the newness of life, an abundant life, a life full of peace, love, joy. We just express our gratitude in this very moment for all that we are and all that we are becoming. And so it is. Amen. Blessings.